As summer draws to a close, so does the run of Pride festivals in cities around the Northern Hemisphere. This year we've seen more brands and corporations showing their support for the LGBTQ+ communities. But are brands simply trying to cash in on the pink pound?
The world is a diverse place, and if we want to sell to everyone, then we need to include them. I think one of the major problems is it's all looked under LGBT. You know, there's 3 different communities there with 3 separate voices talking about 3 different things, and then there's the plus, and there's a lot more letters that come after that. Again, all different communities. So I think it's a lazy way for a brand to say this is an LGBT campaign, you know, it's an L campaign or it's a G campaign, you know, it's aimed at a specific demographic.
But do you think marketers should be just taking a more inclusive view anyway? Because of course there's everybody else that doesn't fall into those subsets.
Yeah. I think marketing works better when it's contextually relevant. So if you're going to speak to a certain demographic, then you need to speak to that demographic. You know, does an advertisement work when it's got one of everybody in it? I don't believe so. I think it needs to be targeted, as with anything else. So I think there's 12 months in a year, plenty, ample time to do targeted campaigns at different members of the community, whether it's BAME, whether it's LGBT, but split that out. Maybe it's to, you know, a gay and lesbian, and maybe it's a transgender campaign. If you're really going to be inclusive, then we need to be inclusive, which means just speak to these different communities in an authentic voice.
We've seen companies like Marks and Spencer's developing a sort of LGBT sandwich.
Yeah.
It did feel, at least to me, a little bit tokenistic. Is that something that you agree with?
Yes. Simple answer is yes, it is quite tokenistic. I think there needs to be more after that. You know, I'm black and I'm gay, and I'm black and gay 365 days a year. So if advertisers want to get the money out of my pocket, they are going to use either of them in their marketing to target me, then you need to do it 365 days a year, or at least extend it past Pride Month. We're lucky at the moment, there's rainbow flags everywhere. We just need to make sure it's not this time of the year tokenistic way for brands to jump on a bandwagon, and actually it is, you know, a campaign that stretches the whole year, because the spend for LGBT in the UK is 80 billion, BAME is 300 billion, in the US it's 1 trillion for LGBT, so that's a lot of money that's relatively untapped for marketeers, and they really just need to get in there.
How do you do all of this without it looking like that's an advert targeting the gay community, that one is looking at the queer community, and you could do that for many letters you can think of?
Yeah, I think the best way is for marketeers to and for brands to normalise. So it could be a campaign a little bit like McCain's did. So there was different families, but they got in there diverse families as well as, you know, society's normal family.
So not box ticking.
Not box ticking, just normalising. You know, I think it's called, or I don't know if this word's made up, but heteronormalisation. So making a diverse community just the same as any other member of society.
How quickly does this need to take place, and how do you see it rolling out?
Well, how quickly it should have taken place, you know, last year. So marketers are behind. When you look at Gen Z, they, you know, this time next year they're going to be 1/3 of global consumers, and they expect diversity in their marketing, you know, in the advertisements that they see, or they walk away. And so if marketeers and brands want to, you know, keep the cash ka-chinging through their tills, they need to start speaking to all members, otherwise they will lose customers.
We've seen a lot of brands getting behind the likes of the Unstereotype Alliance, but that's very much focused on gender rather than other subsets of the community. Isn't this just giving marketers and CMOs a bit of a head-scratching nightmare? How do you service all of these groups?
Marketing is a head-scratching nightmare, you know, you're following trends every day. So I think it's a nightmare because it's all of a sudden everybody's, you know, society is saying you should have been doing this, and now we want it and we demand it. Really, it should have been done, you know, you sort of alluded to it yourself, it should have been done a little while back. So they're playing catch up. And yes, that's hard when you're playing catch up. Catch up to make sure that you are speaking to the whole of society, but also to make sure that your bottom line is raising, is that the right phrase? But to make sure that you know that you are targeting consumers and they want to spend on your brand, and the only way to do that is to have inclusive campaigns.
Hi, I'm James Wright and thanks for watching Marketing Media Money. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thanks for watching.